So, with Identity being one of the most anticipated upcoming open world games, it's almost impossible to ignore its arrival, especially with the features and gameplay it promises. As exciting as Identity sounds, there's been a lot of confusion regarding its release date and what it has to offer in regards to its pre-release date. There's also been confusion on if the game will have any sort of beta testing, and what the difference is between the beta test and the modules it offers, along with its pledges. Identity offers something that is known as modules. And to define modules in the most simplest terms, modules are basically a smaller version of a beta test. And the reason I say it's a smaller version of a beta test is because you won't have access to the majority of the features, outfits, weapons, vehicles, and the map itself. In other words, modules are tiny pieces of the game, so you'll be limited to what you can do. There are said to be 3 modules before the release of Identity, and they'll release fairly apart from each other. All modules will introduce new parts of the game to give you a little taste of what the Identity experience will be like. Modules will allow you to create and customize your character, explore the game, and play with other players. Unfortunately though, only players who pledge will be able to play the modules. Pledging also gives you special perks in the module and in the final game that other players won't have access to, such as a few special vehicles, modifications, and a few other extra perks. The first module set to release is known as Town Square, and it's still a work in progress. The Town Square module will introduce you to the character customization, which will let you mess around with Identity's character creator, and will allow you to go to barbershops, tattoo parlors, and clothing stores. You will also be able to experience some apartment customization, and mess around with some of the apartment mechanics. Now of course, this module wouldn't be called Town Square if you weren't allowed to roam around, well, Town Square, which is a neighborhood in the game. This comes with the ability to explore what the town has to offer, such as going to the cinemas that play actual non-copyright movies and YouTube videos, going to places to eat and feed your in-game character, and if you're feeling a bit courageous, you'll be able to find a way to get a hold of some drugs, along with some other social activities. Town Square is mainly focused on the social aspect of the game, so expect nothing more than small social activities with your friends. The second module is the SWAT module. This module will be more focused on the action dynamic of the game, with the addition of the SWAT and law enforcement. This is where players will be able to test out the weapon system and shooting mechanic in the game, and will be able to train and shoot some targets for practice at a law enforcement facility. We'll also be getting to look at different types of weapons and see how in-depth the weapon customization could be. Hopefully, we might be able to experience what the cops and robbers scenarios will be like, and maybe even have a small heist where one team has to execute an effective method to rob a bank and smartly plan an escape route for all the players, while Team 2 will be the SWAT and try to stop players from successfully completing the small heist. Module 3 is currently set to be the final module before the release of Identity. The third module is known as the Racing module. This module will be all about the vehicle mechanics of the game. We'll be able to see how far customization works and how truly in-depth it is. After you've tuned your car, you'll be able to race with other Identity players online in a competitive racing track on the streets of Identity. Since the game is confirmed to have a manual transmission on cars, it'll be interesting to see how the mechanic will work, especially when in a high-speed competitive race scenario. Now, all of these modules don't have specific release dates, but you can track the progress of the Town Square module on the Identity website, and it will be released when all the progress has been completed. As for the release date of Identity, there's no official release date yet, but we can look at the progress of the modules, and by the time the third module releases, then we can start expecting Identity's release date to be announced. Hopefully this clears up some of the confusion about the release date of Identity, since many people thought that the first module was actually the full release of the game, and which, oh my, would have led to such a huge disappointment for many. I'll be covering more about Identity and its first module when it's out, so subscribe if you like all sorts of Identity videos so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.